What's up, everybody? Brandon here with Lines on Paper, and this is my review of DC Universe Superman Man of Tomorrow, direct to Blu-ray animated movie. So before I get too far into the review, just a reminder that my comic Malevolent Rising #3, as of this recording, is still funding at Indiegogo and will be available on Comixology, but please check that out. Anyway, on with the review. So this is the first movie to follow up from these animated direct-to-DVD movies that DC Comics likes to put out since Justice League Dark Apocalypse War, which was one of my top movies, easily one of their best animated, and was the latest and final entry in what was their very cohesive DC animated extended universe. So this had big shoes to fill, and did it quite live up? Well, let's get into the review. So first off, this is a Superman origin story. They are not reinventing the wheel here. This is Superman, last son of a dying world, crashed on Earth, raised by farmers, heads to Metropolis. And one of the twists on this one is we are treated to some DC characters as kind of guest stars. Lobo and Martian Manhunter both make appearances in this movie, along with Lex Luthor and the Parasite, kind of rounding out the Superman, or a version of the Parasite, rounding out Superman's rogues gallery in this one. So when we meet Superman, he has just arrived at Metropolis, and he's got an internship as a junior reporter at the Daily Planet, and he's been wearing this flight mask and costume and doing good deeds around the city as no, not kidding, the Flying Man. When all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Lobo just kind of attacks him one day. And during that fight, the Martian Manhunter reveals himself, and due to a snafu with some of Lobo's intergalactic weaponry, they inadvertently create the monstrous Parasite, who goes on a rampage through Metropolis, forcing Superman to go to Lex Luthor for help in defeating the Parasite. So that's basically the plot of the movie on this one. So what do we think overall? Well, first off, I have to look at the art style, or comment on the art style, because it is very different than what we were used to on the old movies. And I don't know what it is. It's like the art style seems maybe simpler. The lines are thicker. It reminds me of almost the Batman, the Brave and the Bold animated series from a number of years ago. And I don't know. I didn't like it as much. I think this is, as a departure from what they were doing before, isn't as good. They had a very neat house style with those other animated movies from the old DC extended universe. And this one, well, it's different, and I understand they didn't want it to look like the old style. I would have appreciated it if it at least was as good as the old style, which I don't think this was. And then just kind of as this movie goes along, stuff just kind of happens. He just goes to Metropolis without much fanfare. Lobo just shows up one day, and he says he has a bounty. He's being paid to hunt down Superman, but never says who gave him the bounty or why he's doing any of this. The Manhunter just kind of shows up, and because he reads his mind and gets his infant memories, he has all this knowledge about Krypton, and helps him open up his crystal, which gives him more knowledge about his home planet. So they go for this each one being the last son of a dying race, but really in the end, the Manhunter and Lobo are just kind of used as exposition machines. The Manhunter tells him that he's the last Kryptonian. In fact, he tells him he's a Kryptonian. Superman had no idea what a Kryptonian was, and then he tells him that they're all dead and the world is destroyed. The Martian Manhunter tells him about his parents. So everything he learns from the guest stars. And then you got Zachary Quinto in as Lex Luthor, who gives a very good performance, but Lex Luthor is kind of unceremoniously arrested in the first few minutes of the movie and doesn't come back until the end, and his part's not very big, although it was enjoyable. I would say that the standout for the movie for me was easily Lobo. This is probably the best version of Lobo we've gotten outside of the comics ever. The voice acting was great. The character model was great. His role in the story was good. I liked his interactions with other characters besides Superman. Everything about Lobo was enjoyable. So that's probably the best bit of praise I can get this movie. But overall, as an entry into the DC animated universe, this movie just seemed kind of random, almost kind of like a throwaway. Superman is there and he is trying to find his way in the world. He gets a lot of information from a lot of other characters, and then it limps to kind of an unsatisfying conclusion, in my opinion. It seems like maybe they could go somewhere with this world, but I've read that this isn't going to be a cohesive DC universe anymore, which, in my opinion, if you're going to make a series of movies based on your comic book characters, why on earth wouldn't you make them a cohesive universe? That's how they are in the comics, and that's one of the reasons that the comic universe is so strong. So I don't know if this is just supposed to be a standalone movie and they've got something else coming along. Maybe they will make this a more cohesive universe, or at least just follow up with this one, because we're left with a lot of unanswered questions at the end of this. We're left with a lot of just kind of unresolved plot threads, and if this is meant to be a standalone movie, that's a horrible way to go about things. And if this is meant to be the start of a franchise, it's a weak start. So either way, I'm kind of left with a what the heck did I just watch kind of thing, as this movie just limped to its conclusion. And can I recommend it? If you're a fan of Superman, you might like it. If you're a fan of animation, there's better animated movies out there. And as I said, the art style they chose and the creative choices they decided to go with on this one were not some of my favorites. So this is definitely on the lower end of the DC animated movies. It's not their worst ever, but it's far from their best, especially following up the Justice League Dark animated, which was absolutely flawless. Overall, if I had to give this a score, I'd probably score it about a 6 out of 10. So better than bad, but far from good. So anyway, that's my review. Let me know in the comments if you saw this movie. Let me know in the comments what you thought of it. Did you like Lobo? Did you like the Martian Manhunter? Did you like the changes they did to the Parasite and the more modern take on Superman's classic origin? Let me know, and I hope I'll see you again soon. Talk to you then. Bye.